Welcome back to the channel. This is Blackbook session number 4. My boy Stunna handed me this book to drop a little something, and that's exactly what I did. I decided to drop a burner, something clean, different, and with style. I kicked off the sketch with a Prisma marker using the brush tip. I let my wrist flow and started sketching my letters. I'm familiar with the flow of my letters, so I kept that familiar rhythm while experimenting with the new flow and feel at the same time. This is why I don't take the lines on the sketch too seriously. It just lets me examine what I like from the letters and what I don't. Once I see the letters sculpting, I boldly outline what I do like, and that's when the vision for the letters start forming. The feeling is unique. Still, I'll lace y'all with some game. Using Molotov paint markers, I grabbed a couple of similar greens. I removed the nib from the head of the marker and placed it about an inch away from the page. I blew on the nib directly onto the paper and let it splat all over the sketch in different areas, filling up the negative space inside of the sketch, even adding my little slashes. Using the same green I used for the sketch, I started to semi-color what hadn't been filled in yet. Not really being too careful about what blends and what doesn't. I still added on an even darker green using a good old Sharpie. You can't go wrong with the Sharpie. Using the splat technique, I filled in what wasn't colored on the sketch yet. And the areas that were looking white, I used a very light blue Sharpie to not make it look so plain. Come on, you gotta love the slashes. I want to apologize for the video from this point on. I changed the lighting and it seemed to have messed with the camera quality. I decided to use a Molotov for the outline since it could go over most markers. The color was vanilla, literally. I continued to outline the physique of my letters while at the same time adding my 3D. As you could tell, I was moving left to right, making sure I was getting the letter structure right, while adding my small cracks, details, and focusing on how smooth my whips were coming out. There was a big gap under the U that I didn't like, so even though it wasn't included in the sketch, I added a detached whip to cover that negative space. I forgot to mention that the perspective of my 3D was all going towards the top of my page, up, just like the numbers on this video. It wasn't a crazy 3D either, just about an inch high and the same color as the outline. Alright. Usually this is my technique for shine. Due to the circumstances though, and the colors I was using, white I felt wouldn't contrast well since the color was yellow. So I went with a good old fine point Molotov black. Fine point because I didn't want the detail to be too thick. I would strictly follow the right side of each letter, adding the black at the grooves where the outline would meet the color. I felt this decision was right since it made my letters pop out more. I started experimenting with the background, but I wasn't rocking with that orange red. I chose brown instead. That's a little bar for y'all. So I started outlining the outside of the burner where the 3D had ended. I chose to fill in the inside of the burner so the color would take up negative space. I used the splat technique to get rid of those orange-red lines on each corner. I love doing bubbles. Mark echoes getting up really imprinted them on me. They also take up more negative space, and the whole page just looks better when negative space has been filled up. I didn't want the background white, of course, so I used the deco to give it a sky blue look. I did my best to add a couple shines throughout the burner, and I did, but my white was running out. I also used the splat technique to add white all around the page, just to give it a mystical effect. I went on to add my hit-ups, and that was the end of the burner. Something quick, simple, and clean. For you up-and-coming writers, I hope y'all found this video helpful. Share it with your boys so y'all can step your game up together. Don't hesitate to drop a like or to subscribe to the channel. I really enjoy making these videos, so if there's any topic you guys want me to speak on, drop a comment. I also don't want to continue doing my own name, so if anyone wants their name done and posted to the channel, drop your desired name in the comments. If you're feeling generous, my Cash App is in the description. Until next time, peace.